Hallelujah.
All praises to the Most High Power. Hallelujah. This is Ya'akasaki Yahu. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. That was Yahuwah's prayer that we was bringing in the lesson with. And all praises to the Most High for another day's journey. I'm joined by my most esteemed Kenaniah. Shabbat Shalom, Aki.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Maki. Shabbat Shalom, Yasharal. Hallelujah. For another set apart day.
All praises to her Abba. Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. What a wonderful, beautiful, just magnificent day it is. Sunshine and birds chirping. Temperature is nice. And all praises to her Abba for this time of year, for another Sabbath, set apart Sabbath day. And I'm so thankful. And I would be remiss if I did not say unto the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth, Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings on this Sabbath day. And I cannot wait to the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant.
That's right.
Praise you, Yah. All right. So for those of you who are familiar with what we've done, last night we entered into the book of Devarim. We read chapters 1 through 3. That puts us today still in the book of Devarim. Plan is to read through chapters 4 through 7, and to be edified in all that we are reading and learning as we continue to walk out this journey and grow according to this script. It was terms of a celebration yesterday because we were entering in the final book of Devarim, and what that means is that we had completed the previous 4 books, and in our willingness, as the Most High have given us willingness and ability to study His Word diligently and consistently, and have opened up understanding and edification for us, and hopefully for you all, anyone who would be listening and watching this broadcast. So all praises to Abba. Let's go ahead and get right to it. And here we go. All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, or Devarim, chapter 4 and verse number 1. The headline reads, Israel urged to obey the law, to obey the Most High's law. Verse 1. Now, therefore, Salika, I grab my headset. I do that sometime. I forget. Let me throw this headset on so make sure everybody can hear me good without any problems. How's that volume, Mike?
Come, loud and clear.
All praises, all praises. Praises to Abba. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to it here. Slicker. All right. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 1. Now therefore, hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to them, uh, for to do them, that you may live and go in and possess the land which Yahuwah your power, which Yahuwah power of your fathers give you. Verse number 2. You shall not add unto this word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that you may keep the commandments of Yahuwah your power, which I command you. So he's giving us specific instructions right here at this time to not add nor diminish nor take away from this word, from this Torah that we were received from the hands of his servant Moshe. Verse number 3. Your eyes have seen what Yahuwah did because of the evil one. For all the men that followed that evil one, Yahuwah, your power, have destroyed them from among you. So all of us, all of our people who were dealing with this idol, whose name I won't say, uh, they were destroyed. They were put to death.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing Abba is so serious about. That idolatry, that sharing of his esteem. He don't play that, especially with none, but especially with no idol like this. I'm not going to even say that, but let's go down here and just see. This is what we call the master of the gap. It was a an idol. That word is for idol. Worshipped at this place. Yeah. So this is where we get. This is where this word right here comes from. This word,
Mm-hmm.
this word are equal, are the same. This is why we don't use this word. We don't refer to the Most High as that. We refer to his name as the Yohe Wahe, however you pronounce it, Yahuwah, Yahweh. I would prefer Yahweh over that because
Mm-hmm.
that is just completely improper. And yeah, that's not right.
And some people who are, I don't know, maybe new to learning that information right there,
Mm,
they would ask you like, well, I or brother, like why is the word Lord written in the
in the
scriptures? And
text.
the answer to that would be it really originally it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was the tetragrammaton,
Right.
and they replaced the tetragrammaton and put in uh, the uppercase LORD in all caps, and that was to stand in place of our power. But that is not his name. His name is uh, the Yohe Wahe, however you want to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
We can look right here. I'm glad you brought that up because there's something we really haven't discussed. Um, if you look here, now this is a transliteration,
Mm-hmm.
as they have transliterated it, Yehovah. Uh, as I understand it, it's pronounced Yahuwah, or you can also use Yahweh, the Yohe Wahe. In English, you can translate that, or you can transliterate that into YHUH, YHWH, YHVH. Uh, I've even seen people use YHOH. Uh, all, for me, all are acceptable as long as you are keeping, you know, the putting the name, like you're not just using the name for the sake of trying to throw dirt on it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, don't play with Abba's name like that. But if you're sincere and trying to speak the name of the Most High, then Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yehovah, Yahweh, all would be all I would consider acceptable, uh, as opposed to this is unacceptable. This is not the name of the Most High, and
Yeah, we don't deal with that. So it's there for deceptional purposes. That's why they put it there.
Mm-hmm.
But we've come. I mean, let's look here real quick while we get into it. This is the Tetragrammaton in what's called the modern Hebrew right here. This is the Yod Hey Wah. That's what we're looking at here. This is in the Tetragrammaton. Uh, I mean, this is the in the modern form of what's known as the Hebrew. So when you go up to the Paleo, that's where you see the Yod, the Hey, the Wah, the Hey, as is written on my garment right here. So um, I hope that helps people really understand and why we don't call on. That's why we don't say that. We don't say Lordgod because that's not that's not in righteousness. That's done in deception. So all right, let's continue. Verse number 4. Salika, 1 second here. Let me just put this on quiet. All right, all right. Verse number 4. It says, "But you that cleave unto Yahuwah your power are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahuwah my power commanded me, that you shall do so in the land where you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. This is the wisdom of and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all of these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." So just the Torah, just the instruction that the Most High have given us, and that's what Torah means, is instruction, is going to cause these other people to say, man, these people really got it together. This is a wise and understanding people. Because they deal righteously one with another. They're not doing the things that we do. They're doing um, other things. They're doing a whole opposite thing, and it's all good. Uh, verse number 7. It says, "For what nation is there so great that have the Most High so near unto them, as Yahuwah your power is in all things that we call upon him for?" So at this time, Abba was with right there with him, and Moshe could go right to Yahuwah and say, or right to his representative and say, "I have a question of this matter." And we read last night where he asked them to allow him to still go into the land, and he said, "Don't talk to me about that again." You know what I'm saying? He shut that down. So uh, even though he was right there, readily accessible, he still was able to, you know, control the situation. Like, nope, I've already made my mind up, and I'm not going back on it. So all praises. Verse number 8. Do you have anything on that?
And now
Okay.
I'm thinking about what you said though. Us being able to have Moshe at this point in our
Hmm.
ancestors uh at this point in antiquity,
Hmm.
we as a people had intercessor for us in the forms of Moshe, the Most High servant.
Hmm.
Uh, we've got to live our lives to the point where we can have that uh, audience with the Most High
Kind.
as well, and we know that He hears not the sinner.
Right.
So, which
Exactly.
is a way that a reason for us to strive for righteousness, where we can go to the Most High in small matters and
Hmm.
in major matters, man,
Yes, indeed.
and go to Him knowing that He's gonna hear us,
Kind.
and guide our steps.
Yes, indeed. All praises. And we talk about Moshe here because Moshe was the one at this time that we're really getting the understanding from. He's going directly to Ha'aba. We see that several occasions. We see them having direct conversations. Moshe asking something and him replying. We see that in the text. But even before Moshe, we go back to Noah. It
Mm-hmm.
says Noah walked with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So Noah was given some direct connect information. Not before that. You go back to the time of Adam. Adam was uh, meeting with Abba in the cool of the day.
Mm-hmm.
As so uh of course, again, now this is the representative of the Most High. I don't believe the Most High got off his throne to come commune with his creation. He sent his representative, which we believe to be
Mashiach.
Hamashiach.
Come.
Yes, indeed, that spirit of Hamashiach that's been since the beginning, the first of creation. Uh, and that's where the information was coming from. It was coming directly from the Most High, because the Messiah is a direct reflection of the Most High. He is his representative, his arm, his hand, his what else it call him? His the branch, the
Leader of the army.
exactly, captain of the host.
Indeed.
Absolutely, yes, indeed. So, all praises, man. This is such wonderful information, to go through, and let's just continue here. Verse number 8. And what nation? Oh no, well, that's where we are. Because I just read that. Yeah, okay. So number 8. And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous
Mm-hmm.
as all this law, which is set before you this day? Only take heed to yourselves and keep your soul diligently, lest you forget the things which your eyes have seen, and least they depart from your heart all the days of your life. But teach them to your sons and to your sons' sons, especially the days, especially the, is that right? Especially,
Yeah, come. Especially, yep.
okay, especially the day that you stood before Yahuwah, your power in Hebron, uh, when Yahuwah said unto me, gather me the people together, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they shall live upon the earth, and that they may teach their children. So
So
it's a, oh yeah, yeah.
I was
It's a,
gonna say that
oh, go ahead.
that Horeb
Oh,
is
hooray.
another name for Sinai.
Sinai. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Let's take a look at that since you pointed that out there. Uh, I was gonna hit on. Let's look at this hooray first, real quick. Uh, Hooray, and yeah, desert. Yeah, another name for the Mount Sinai, which the Most High gave the law to Moshe and the Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
All praises, yes indeed. Praise Abba for that understanding, that edification. Uh, I wanted to touch just slightly on the importance in these last two scripts, or in these last two scripts here, where he talks about teaching it to our children, and how important that is to not just uh, take your take up your stake and just walk out your journey, but when you have your children, it's important that you teach your children how to be these particular people, these particular type of people, to operate in the way that the Most High have given us to operate, and not just me, myself, and I, but also your seed after you. How important that is. So he reiterates. Looks like we're going to get a little bit more into that in this next verse, verse 10 here. Oh, no, I just read 10. Slick. So, yeah, in 9 and 10, he talks about that. But teach them at the very bottom here. It says, but teach them your sons and your sons' sons. So, not just your children, but even to your grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Just passing down and understanding this word. Um, Same thing at the end of this next verse, that you may teach their children, that they may teach their children. So this is an important part of understanding the way of the Most High. It's not just enough to understand it yourself, but to bring up offspring. That first commandment or second commandment still is in place: be fruitful and multiply. And as we do that, it's important that we not just do that, but also teach our children. So, but let's continue. Verse 11. And you came near and stood under the mount, and the mount burned with fire upon the midst of Shamaim, with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness. And Yahuwah spake unto you, out of the midst of the fire. You heard his voice of the words, and saw no similitude. Only you heard a voice, and he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even 10 commandments. And he wrote them on 2 tables of stone. And Yahuwah commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments, that you may do them in the land whether you go to possess it. Take you therefore good heed to yourselves, for you saw no manner of similitude on the day that Yahuwah spake unto you in Hebron. Am I saying that right? Horeb, Salika.
Horeb, Khan.
In Horeb, out of the midst of the fire. Lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of a male or a female, the likeness of any beast that is in the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the water beneath the earth. That's so ironic. Reading this, he's telling them not to do these things, and yet the people round about the nation of Israel were known for exactly this.
Indeed.
You know, you had the who was it? The Philistines. They had their idol, that fish, the fish idol.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything that's on the ground. You know, today they got the cobblestone, which we've looked at times at times in the past. Supposed to be what, a meteor or something fell to the
Mm-hmm.
earth, some foolishness.
And
Uh,
I mean, that's a direct violation of the commandment.
Absolutely,
You shall not, the first commandment, nothing
absolutely.
from the Shemaims, which is the heavens.
Hmm.
Uh, you shall not bow down thyself to them nor worship them.
Exactly, exactly. And this is exactly what those people around about us have done. And but not for us. It's not for us to do. And that's why we have to walk circumspect, and we have to be set apart. Can't do as they do. We got to walk as He has given us to walk. So let's continue here, verse 19. At least you lift up your eyes unto Shamaim, and when you see it, the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of Shamaim, should you drive, should you be driven to worship them and serve them, which Yahuwah your power have divided unto you, unto all the nations under the whole earth. Now you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Let me read that again. I kind of chopped that up. Let me read that verse 19 again. It says, at least you lift up your eyes unto the heavens, the sky, and when you see the sun, the moon, the stars, even all the hosts, or all the everything that's gathered in the heavens or in the sky, should you be driven or be motivated to worship that, to give honor, to give praise, to be a servant of that, and serve them, which Yahuwah your power have divided, which he have made or given unto all nations under the whole sky, or the whole heaven, or Shamaim. Under the sky, he's given them those things to do. And he set his people apart from those things. So, as plain as it can be written, as plain as it
Mm-hmm.
can be understood, Devarim chapter 4 and verse 19, that's for them. That's not for us. We're not supposed to do what they do. We
Come.
have we have a real power, a power with ability, and to get us from one place to another, to keep us in battle, and to deliver our adversaries into our hands. So this is the power that we are to serve, not the things that they have been given. wanting to be like them and do what they do. Let's continue. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verse 20. But Yahuwah has taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Mizraim or Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as you are this day. Verse 21. Furthermore, Yahuwah was angered with me for your sake, and swore that I should not go over Jordan, and that I should not go in unto the good land, unto that good land, which Yahuwah your power giveth you for an inheritance. Moshe is hurt by that. Boy, he really want to go. I don't blame him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go too. I want to go with you, Moshe. I want to go as
Come.
well. Verse 22. But I must die in this land, and I must not go over Jordan, but you shall go over and possess that good land. Take heed unto yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of Yahuwah your power, which he made with you, and make a graven image or any likeness of anything which Yahuwah your power have forbidden you. For Yahuwah your power is a consuming fire, even a jealous power. So Most High is not to be trifled with. He's a
Come.
consuming fire. Think about fire. You know, we think we've mastered fire. We think we understand fire. I don't think we understand fire. I look at fire, I'm like, this thing that has no shadow, it devours anything that gets to it, that it gets to, I should say. And it's I've even seen fire exist in water.
Come.
So
And you know, I'm sure they've got a way of explaining that, but this is that's man's wisdom. You know what I mean? And we know that the
exactly,
Most High's wisdom exceeds that, makes man's
great,
wisdom look foolish. You know.
exactly, exactly. So him being a consuming fire, I mean and it's most reasonable that the earth was destroyed with water, and when you look at the bow in the sky, that red that is in the bow represents the fire, the fire that will be at the end, and even in Babylon that will burn and not cease. So let's continue. I want to get too far off topic here. All right, verse 25. It says, "Then you shall uh, th- when you shall beget children and children's children, and you shall have remain and you have remained long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves and make a graven image or the likeness of anything that shall slick out, and shall do evil in the sight of Yahuwah your power to provoke him to anger." Now, this is why it's so important to teach our children, and not just teach our children, but we have to instill in our children how important it is for them to serve Yahuwah our power, because
And
he's
fear
talking
him.
about exactly.
You know, I had my loved ones were upset with me, because I was honest with my daughter. I was like, "Yes, baby, the Most High will kill you. You know, if you're doing things that are contrary to His way,
Absolutely.
you know, and if you're hating the Most High in so many
Hmm.
words, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, yeah, He'll
Absolutely.
kill you, and that's a message that they're not used to hearing. You know what I
Right.
mean? But it's the truth.
It's the truth. It is the honest truth. He will pass judgment on you, and that judgment will cause you to die. A lot of times, when people die because they don't fear the Most High.
Come,
If they feared the Most High, a lot of them would be alive today.
indeed.
We have a lot more people in the earth right now if they feared the Most High and walked according to His word.
Indeed, and this is really what Moshe is telling these children of Israel at this time. You know,
Absolutely.
Consuming fire. That's not one that is that's not something that's not, he's saying that consuming fire because he wants you to fear it, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Exactly. You think you compare a match, to a house fire. A match can start a house fire, but once that house fire get going, it's you're so limited in your ability, to deal with that. You
Right.
think a match you can hold in your hand, you shake it a couple times and it go out, but that house fire, y- y-
Or look at the fires in California
yeah,
and
kind
how
the
they
wildfires.
still haven't been able to
Tame
control
those.
and put it out.
Absolutely. That's a much better example. Praise Abba. I appreciate that, Doc. That's good. That's a good analogy. Those wildfires, yes, are whew, you can't even. I mean, if you've never seen a wildfire, I was watching some program, and I want to say it was in Africa. It was in Africa. I want to say it was Planet Earth. If you ever seen some of that one, but there was a lightning strike from the sky, hit the ground, lit the grass on fire, and I mean it just burned so fast you wouldn't even. They happen to have the cameras out there, and I wonder how often something like that does happen.
Hmm.
But the animals, they knew, hey, we got to get up out of here
Come, come,
because that grass was burning. They didn't look at that burning grass and think, you know what, I'll be all right. No, it was like we got to go,
come.
and yeah, so and that was yeah, that's a good analogy. So, but yeah, let's continue here. Verse 26. He says, I call heaven or Shamaim and earth to witness against you this day, that you shall soon utterly off Salika, perish from off the land wherein you go over Jordan to possess it, that you shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. So Moshe is already telling us right here, he prophesying.
Hmm.
Like y'all gonna mess this up, man. I know y'all are. Y'all gonna mess this thing up, and y'all gonna be up out of here. Just as soon as we cross over this Jordan, as soon as y'all cross over this Jordan, I'm gonna stay here. As soon as y'all cross over and get over there, I guarantee you, y'all gonna mess it up. Y'all gonna be out here.
And he's speaking from experience. He went
Come,
up to the mount for 40 days, 40 nights, come back down. Well, the Most High sends him back down. Look what they doing now.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? It was constant murmuring, even after the Most High uh, kill people. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? They
Yeah,
still want to murmur and question.
unreal.
Yeah,
We read last night how they talked about the Most High brought us here to kill us.
yeah.
Like, are you out of your mind? How you even fix your mouth to say that? That's unreasonable. That's unreasonable. Let's continue here. Verse 27. It says, and Yahuwah shall scatter you among the nations, and you shall be left few in number among the heathen. Rather, Yahuwah shall lead you. So he's telling them right there, and look here, I already see what's about to happen. I can see your punishment coming. I can see your hand slipping, your mind not staying strong, and you're gonna go off. And when you do, Yahuwah gonna punish you, and this is how
Hmm.
he gonna do it. Verse 28. And there you shall serve idols, the works of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But if from there you shall seek Yahuwah your power, you shall find him, if you seek him with all of your heart and with all of your soul, which is what we're doing here today. That's what we're doing in this time frame. We
Come,
seek the Most High, our power, with everything that we are and everything that we have, because we're not in our land. We're in the land of our captivity.
come,
Th- This is the land of our captivity. I know we talked about this offline, but I got to share this. Just reading this text right here. Uh, I talked to a woman. I'm not gonna say a sister, but a woman, a so-called black woman, at um, at a place the other day, and I told her that this was the land of our captivity, that we were captives here. She said she didn't see it like that. I asked her, how did her people get here? Did they get here the same way my people got here? Because my people were brought here in chains. And she agreed. But yet she sees herself today somehow in the same land that her people were brought to in chains, with the same people still in power, and yet now it's somehow it's different. Somehow it's an illusion. And now we in the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to get too far off, but we've been given an illusion to believe something that is not true, and we look at that thing and we think, oh yeah, this is good, but it's not good, because we weren't meant to be in someone else's land. We're meant to be in our own land, which is why they brought us here in chains. And because they didn't physically bring us here, because we were born here, and because you can get up and walk outside when you want to, and because you can go to the grocery store and pick up a few things, what little bit of money allow you to do, or what the Most High allow you to get based on the money you have, uh, you're thinking you're free. That's not freedom. This is bondage.
Mm-hmm.
This is working for a corporation is bondage. You should be working for yourself.
Come.
This very concept is bondage. The whole setup is meant to be bondage. And then you look at your, I know what it is. They look at their counterparts. They're like, oh, these Caucasian people are doing it, so it must be okay. No, it's not. They put their own people in the state that they're in, and so how are they supposed to consider? How should they consider you if they do it to their own?
Indeed.
But our people have been so conditioned to look at our situation and just think everything is all right. And I can admit I was one. Before this truth, before I came into the truth, before I started studying His Word, before I really got to understand it, I understand that I am in captivity, because the Most High tells me that this is captivity. This is where I'm sending you captive to these people. He told me that. He said that through His Word, and that's where I get the understanding from. Because I was under the ideology that I was free, and I used to think I was the American dream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the reality is absolutely not. So, with that, let's continue. Verse number 30. When you are in tribulation, and all these things are come upon you, even in the latter days, if you turn to Yahuwah your power, and shall be obedient to His voice. For Yahuwah your power is a merciful power. He is not. He will not forsake you, neither destroy you, nor forget the covenant which your fathers, Salikah, nor forget the covenant of your fathers which He sware unto them.
Mm-hmm.
For now, Salikah, for as now, in the days that are past, which are before you, since the day that the Most High created man upon the earth, and as from the one side of Shamaim unto the other, rather, rather there have been any such thing as great as Salikah, any such thing as this great thing is, or have been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of the Most High speaking out of the midst of fire, as you have heard and live? So, is there ever been a situation where the people dealt like this with the Most High, where He came and spoke to them out of fire? Like, I mean, you've been put in a position that nobody else has even heard of.
And come.
So you are, uh, man, this is miraculous. This is not a lightweight thing.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yes, indeed. Verse 34. Or have the Most High arrayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that Yahuwah your power did for you in Mizraim before your eyes.
Right.
Like, have,
Like yesterday, we read about how the Most High had allowed the Moabites, the Edomites,
hmm
and the
Amorites.
Ammonites
hmm
to prevail over those giants that were in the land, right?
hmm
But he still didn't deal with them the way that he dealt with our ancestors
Exactly.
in signs and wonders and plagues and killing. You know what I mean? Like that's the way he
Okay.
dealt with us.
Okay. Yes, indeed. That was deliverance for us.
Hmm.
He dealt harshly with them to deliver us. And in that situation, yeah, he let them take that land,
Hmm.
and they took it from those people that were there before. First time I've seen that in Devarim chapter what 2, and
Yeah, yeah.
uh, was yeah. So man, that was so enlightening, and which is why we're
Hmm.
doing this, because sometimes if you don't read it straight through, you gonna miss something. And I know the script is not supposed to be read like a novel, but when you have a little bit of understanding, which the Most High have been working with us on helping us understand uh, some things, we're reading it like this so that we don't miss anything, so that we get it straight through, straight understanding. So
Hmm.
it's such a barakah indeed. So let's continue. Verse 35. It says, "Unto you it is shown that you may know that Yahuwah your power, there is none else beside him."
Hmm.
So he's telling us that this is what it is. This is what we get the power, his power. We get he is our power. That's what I'm trying to say. There's none else like him. He has no rival. He is not looking over at the other folks like, yeah, I see their power over there. Yeah, he come over here, I'm gonna smash him. No, no, there's nobody there for him to smash,
Right,
because
right.
they're the ones that they worship work for him.
Hmm.
He is the top of the top of the heap.
Right, right.
They
It's
can't
like
operate if he don't give them authority to.
indeed, it's like you fall into the hands of the Most High Power. There's no one for you to pray to
Exactly.
release to call him off you. You know,
Exactly. There is no escape from the power of Israel.
that's right.
That's it. That is it. That's all. Not for us, not for them, not for anybody. This is the same power that destroyed the entire earth with
Hmm.
flood,
Hmm.
saved 8 people. And who chose those 8? He did.
Hmm.
Did those 8 people make a way for to get themselves out? No. He told them how to make that work.
Indeed.
So man, it's beautiful. This is some beautiful writing here. Let's continue, man. Whew, I done got hot out.
So it's good stuff.
Yes, indeed. All praises to the Most High. Verse 36. Out of Shamaim, he made you to hear his voice, that you may that he may instruct you, and upon earth, and show you these great fire, and show you his great fire, Salika. Uh, and you heard the words out of the midst of the fire. And because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed after him, and brought you out of the sights, Salika, and brought you out in his sight with his mighty power out of Mizraim, or out of Egypt. Verse 38, to drive out nations from before you, greater and mightier than you are, and bring you in, and give you their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. So he was bringing them to this situation. This is with the culmination of everything that we've read thus far. This is the pinnacle of that.
Mm-hmm.
because he's in the midst of bringing our people out of this, out of the bondage. First, he showed us in the beginning what this is how it came to be. Started with Adam to Seth to Noah and to Shem. I mean, we could go through the whole thing, but we kind of did a recap yesterday, and he's kind of continuing that. Just understanding not to mess over the power, our power, I should say. Uh, verse 39. Knowing therefore this day, and consider it in your heart that Yahuwah, he is power in Shamaim above and upon the earth beneath. There is none else. So no esteem go to anyone else. Verse 40. You shall keep therefore his statutes and his commandments, which I command you this day, that it may go well for you and with your children after you, and that you may prolong your days upon the earth, which Yahuwah your power giveth you forever. And Moshe served 3 cities on the side of Jordan towards the sunrise, that the slayer may flee there, which shall kill his neighbor unawares, and hated him not in times past, and that fleeing unto one of these cities he may live, namely Bazir in the wilderness, in the plains of the Reubenites, and Ramoth in Gilead of the Gadites, and Golain and Bashan of the uh,
Mm-hmm.
Manassanites.
I remember that Golan, when the Ashkenazis returned, well, I said returned, I shouldn't even say that returned, but when they made Israel, present day Israel, a
Hmm.
nation,
Hmm.
there was a battle that took place in the Golan Heights.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. I don't recall that one.
Yeah, that was I forget how many day war it was, but the Golan Heights is where one of the battles took place.
So they were going against what, the Palestinians?
I want to say the Egyptians and the
Oh wow.
somebody else that was in that land at the time.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Um, let's look at this. Barzit
Betzer.
Bar Betzer. Okay, so they got gold ore or remote fortress. This is the first time we're seeing that. This is the first time we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing that. Okay, Betzer. Also a son of Ziphor, one of the heads of the house of Ashur. We get very little information of Asher. He's one of those not spoken of much tribes
Mm-hmm.
outside of him showing up and doing his part for roll call or things of that nature in Chronicles. Like we
Mm-hmm.
get next to nothing from.
There was around the times of Mashiach, there was a prophetess in Jerusalem that was from the tribe of Asher.
Our word. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All praises. All praises. We'll see that, I be willing, as we continue to read through these texts here. Uh, Familiar with Ramoth, Gilead, and let's look at this Golan, Golan. Their captivity, their rejoicing. A town of Manasseh at the heights of Bashan, east of the Jordan, a city of refuge. Yeah, this is the first time we're seeing that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so their captivity, their refuge, their rejoicing. All right, and I think we've seen Bashan before.
Yeah, Khan.
Yeah, we kind of fruitful. Okay, kind. Well, let's continue. Um, verse 44. And this is the law which Moshe set before the children of Israel, These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Moshe spake unto the children of Israel after they came forth out of Mizraim on this side of Jordan in the valley over against uh, Beth Peor
Mm-hmm.
in the land of the king of Shion, Slikah, in the land of Shion, king of the Amorites, who dwelt at Heshbon, whom Moshe and the children of Israel smote after they after they were come forth out of Mizraim, and they possessed the land and the land and the land of Og, king of uh, Bashan, two kings of the Amorites, which were on this side of Jordan towards the sunrising, from A R E Aroer Are
Or
Aor. Yeah, Aor. Okay, I was trying to get through it like Aroa. That wasn't making sense to me. I know we mentioned this last night, but yeah, I couldn't get that out. From Ior, which is by the bank of the river Ior, even unto Mount Sion, which is uh, Hermon, and all the plains on the side of Jordan eastward, even unto the plains, even unto the sea of the plains, under the spring of Pescu,
Pisgah.
Pisgah, Pisgah, Salakia, Pisgah. We looked at Pisgah before.
We did. I don't remember exactly because it was attached to another word yesterday. It was like longer than that.
Okay, okay. Cliff, Cliff,
Mm-hmm.
like Cliff. Yeah. All right. A mountain in Moab, northeast shore of the Dead Sea. Site uncertain, so they don't know where exactly it is. I like when they do say something like that. Like we don't really know, but you know, we have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather than be honest about it than to play around like they know. All right, so this is chapter 5 in Devarim, and we see the Ten Commandments repeated as the headline. It's a reflection of Deuteronomy or Exodus chapter 20. So let's continue. Verse 1. And Moshe, oh, slick out, let me get rid of this. All right. And Moshe called all the children, slick out. And Moshe called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and the judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them and keep them and do them. Yahuwah your power have made a covenant with us in Horeb. Yahuwah made not this covenant with your fathers, but with us, even us, who are all of us here alive this day.
Mm-hmm.
Yahuwah talked with you face to face and the mount out of the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahuwah and you at that time to show you the word of Yahuwah from you, uh, for you were afraid by reason of the fire, and none, Slikah, and went not up unto the mount, saying, I am Yahuwah your power, which brought you out of the land of Mizraim, from the house of bondage. You shall have no idols before me. You shall not make unto you any graven image or any likeness of anything in Shamaim above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the waters beneath the earth. You shall not bow down yourself unto them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah your power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and the fourth generation of them that hate me, but showing mercy unto thousands of them who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of Yahuwah your power in vain, for Yahuwah will not leave him guiltless who taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to sanctify it, as Yahuwah your power have commanded you. 6 days 6 days shall you labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah your power. In it you shall not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your manservant, nor your maidservant, nor your ox, nor your donkey, nor any of your cattle, nor any stranger that is within your gate, that your manservant and your maidservant may rest well as you, Slikah, may rest as well as you. Verse 15. And remember that you was a servant in the land of Mizraim, and that Yahuwah your power brought you out of there through a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm. Therefore, Yahuwah your power command you to keep the Sabbath day. Honor your father and your mother, as Yahuwah your power have commanded you, that you may that your days may be prolonged, and you may go well with you in the land which Yahuwah your power give you. You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, neither silly guy. Trying to get that thing off of there. All right, well, it's adultery. Neither shall you steal, verse 19. Neither shall you steal, verse 20. Neither shall you bear false witness against your neighbor. Neither shall you desire your neighbor's wife. Neither shall you covet your neighbor's house, his field, or his manservant, or his maidservant, his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's. Uh, the book of Devarim, chapter 5 and verse 22. The headline reads, Moses intercedes, or another intercession here. Uh, verse 22. These words Yahuwah spake unto all your assembly in the mount out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, of the thick darkness, with a great voice, and added no more. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and delivered them unto me.
Khan. And
Yes,
he wrote them.
Con. Oh, did I say that right?
No, no, no.
Oh,
I'm
Con.
just
And
emphasis. You
he,
yeah,
the
you
Most
read it
High.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
but it
So
was
that's
it
all right.
was the Most High that wrote it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. He not only spoke it, he wrote it, and actually had to write it twice, thanks to Moshe's anger.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 23. And it came to pass that you heard the voice out of the midst of the darkness from the mountain, for the mountain did burn with fire, and they came near unto me, even all that heard of the tribes of your elders. And they said, Behold, Yahuwah our power hath showed us his esteem, his glory, and his greatness. And we have heard his voice out of the midst of the fire. What have we have seen this day that the Most High doeth talk with man, and he live. Now, therefore, why should we die?
Mm-hmm.
For the great fire will consume us if we hear the voice of Yahuwah our power anymore. Then we shall die. They so afraid. I mean, this was such a amazing thing
Mm-hmm.
that they just felt like they would just drop dead if it happened again. Like, this is so much power. We can't even. We're not made for this. We gotta. You do it. You deal with it. You handle it better than we do.
Khan, I can remember speaking with some some sisters
Hmm.
one day, and explaining to them that we're the people of the book that we're reading about, and
Hmm.
why we find ourselves in this land of captivity. And the look on their faces was one of fear. And I
Hmm.
told them, I was like, I said, I can see that you all are afraid by what I'm telling you all. And, that's not a bad thing. The fear of the Most
Hmm.
High is the beginning of wisdom. And like how
Absolutely.
you're feeling now, our ancestors felt the same way when they received
Uh,
the commandments from the Most High
absolutely.
at the hands of Moshe.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And it's an important part of it. And part of the reason, I don't want to say that he was flexing, but his intention was to put that fear in them so
Mm-hmm.
that they would not go off. Now, uh, somehow through the generations that had been lost. And you know, I know I can't remember where it says it, but I've read somewhere in the text where it says every 7 years they basically they read the law, like what we're doing, but they did it like in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been, on the Sabbath day, I believe. But every 7 years they read it. But they were toiling with their gardens, with their with their um, with their gardens, with their uh, cattle and their sheep and whatnot. They were dealing with those things, and they weren't dealing with a 9 to 5 job and so on and so forth. So they had a little bit more room to not a little bit, they had a lot more room to do what they needed to do. A lot of those things are once you set them, that's it. You just
Mm-hmm.
kind of watch it and make sure it's okay. If you're a shepherd over your flock, you're just making sure that the wolves don't come or that the lion don't come.
Come.
Uh, like David said, the lion came and he had to grab him by the beard. He had to fight a bear, but when on the days those things don't happen, you kind of chilling.
Mm-hmm.
You got time to read and got time to really study yourself. So, um, well, let's continue. It says, verse 26. It says, "For who is there of all flesh that have heard the voice of the living power speak out of the midst of fire, as we have, and lived? Go you near and hear all that Yahuwah our power, Salika, shall say, and speak you unto us all that Yahuwah our power shall speak unto you, and we will hear it and do it." And like, yeah, just go get what he got and bring it to us, and we'll do it. We'll be obedient,
Mm-hmm.
but not him, because he is. I just imagine that. I forgot. I just imagine, being in that situation. 'Cause I'll be honest, I've been frightened by thunder.
Mm-hmm.
You ever outside and that thunder hit, and I mean, it feel like it come down to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like
You
if you
come.
don't have some kind of a shelter, if you're not in a car, if you're not in a building, I mean, that thunder sometimes feel like it comes to the ground.
It's shaking, you know.
Yeah, kind. I mean, you think a train whistle is something. Phew, I just imagine them, in this situation, uh, whole different situation, whole different circumstance. Verse 28. And Yahuwah heard the voice of your words, and you spake unto me, when you spake unto me. And Yahuwah said unto me, I have heard the voice of the words of this people, which they have spoken unto you. They are they have well said all that they have spoken. Oh, that there was such a heart in them, that they would fear me and keep my commandments always, that they might be well with them
Mm-hmm.
and with their children forever. And we keep seeing this with their children forever. I can't help but jump to Kings, the book of Kings, First Kings, Second Kings, and of course, that was Shaul, the first king, and how he started off so humble and you know pretty good. He just didn't complete the task as he was commanded, and that cost him his kingdom. And we went from Shaul to King David, and King David was, despite his slip up, his couple of slip ups, I should say, he was the most righteous king in Israel history. Israel was the most prominent nation in the earth during his rulership.
Mm-hmm.
And from Kingdom David to Solomon, And from Solomon, we proceeded to go down. And as more of the sons of Solomon continued, it got increasingly worse.
Indeed. I mean, there was uh a few righteous kings within
Hmm.
Yehuda.
Hmm.
I can't think of any of those northern
Hmm.
kings that were working righteousness. You know what
No,
I mean?
not at all. Not at all. Those last, I remember the last like three, if I remember correctly, I'm pulling this straight from memory, but I want to say like the last three kings in Yehuda were completely horrible.
Hmm.
I mean, just terrible. And Abba just, just that last couple, he just flipped the switch on like, that's it. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and which is why again he's reiterating the importance of dealing with your children, and we tend to lose that. I don't know why we lose that, but that's a hard pill right there. That's a very hard pill. Verse 30. Go say to them, uh, get you unto your tents again. For as for you, stand you here by me, and I will speak unto you all the commandments and the statutes and the judgments which you shall teach them, and they may do them in the land which I give them to possess it. You shall observe and do therefore as Yahuwah your power have commanded you. You shall not turn aside to the right hand or to the left. You shall walk all the way which Yahuwah your power have commanded you, that you may live and that you may be well, that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days on the land in which you shall possess.
Hmm.
All praises. All right, we're gonna run over a couple more chapters real quick. Where we at time wise? Yeah, we kind of took our time on them couple, so we're gonna go through these next couple, 6 and 7, and
And they're short. They're shorter than the
yeah,
first two.
yeah, that first one was a bit lengthy, which is all good. But I mean, we got time. It's the Sabbath day. We don't got nothing to do outside.
All
It looked like
praise.
we trying to get cloudy though, huh? You see that outside?
No, I hadn't even seen, but I looked at the forecast
Mm,
earlier, and they don't always get it right, but
right.
they
Okay.
didn't say any rain.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I look bad. It look like it's just some clouds, some kind of thick clouds from what I can see
Hmm.
through my window. But look like it's gotten a little bit, blocking the sun. It was sunny earlier, but not so much now. But
Hmm.
uh, I'll be willing. We get out there and you know greet some people and try to bring out some plant some seeds. So
Indeed, indeed,
yes, indeed.
Aki.
Yes, indeed. All right. Let's go ahead with chapter 6. And, if you don't mind picking this one up,
Indeed, my brother.
I'll tell our about.
This is the book of Devarim, Deuteronomy, chapter 6. Obey the Most High and prosper.
Yes,
Verse
indeed.
1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh your power commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land where ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear Yahweh thy power, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, you and your son, and your son's son, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that ye may increase mightily, as Yahweh your power of your fathers have promised you, in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power is one, is a God, Yahweh. You shall love Yahweh your power with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk to them, Salakia, and shall talk of them when thou sittest in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you liest down, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. And it shall be when Yahweh your power shall have brought you into the land which he swore unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not. So
Mm-hmm.
we cities that we're getting ready to go. This land is
Mm-hmm.
filled with cities,
Yes,
and
indeed.
we're not really gonna have to go and build any cities or any houses. We're gonna
Right.
build upon what's already there.
Already
You
there.
know, I
Yes,
I, I
indeed.
like that script out because
Right.
I think about these church houses,
Mm-hmm.
how you know they're right now currently they're missing the mark.
Right.
you
Con.
know. Uh,
Con.
so should we go and destroy these church houses? Perhaps uh, update them where it's not any paganism going on in them. Where
Con. Yeah. Get rid
take
of that
down
stained
these
glass.
take down
Yeah.
these crosses, take down
Mm-hmm.
these false images of the
Mm-hmm.
Messiah,
Right.
but don't destroy them altogether because our ancestors went into a pagan land and built
Mm-hmm.
on top of it.
Yes,
Which
indeed.
which is what we're doing when we go out and meet these people. You know,
Hallelujah.
we're building on top of what the lies that they've been taught.
Right. Yes, indeed. All praises to the Abba.
Yep. Verse 11, and houses full of good things which thou fieldest not, and wells dig which thou dig not, vineyards and olive trees which thou plantest not, when thou shalt have eaten and be full.
Mm-hmm.
Then beware lest you forget Yahweh, which brought thee forth out of the land of Mizraim, from the house of bondage. Thou shalt fear Yahweh thy power, and serve him, and shalt swear by his name. Ye shall not go after the other deities of the people which are around about you. For Yahweh your power is a jealous power among you, lest the anger of Yahweh thy power be kindled against you, and destroy you from off the face of the earth. It's his grace and mercy that hasn't come to pass. That he hasn't
Hallelujah.
destroyed us off the face of the earth,
Yeah,
because
because
we
he could have.
indeed did
Mm-hmm.
transgress this commandment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. He could have. He's had every right to get rid of us. He's mentioned it a few times to Moshe, and we well beyond Moshe. And
Indeed.
to the point where he had to go down here in the flesh and atone for these doggone people, these folks. Well, his patience. I mean, I just imagine myself in that, not myself in that position, but I just imagine what he dealt with in that position, and how I, at this current state, at this current place and time, how I would have, felt having to deal with this. I got to go down here and take this horrendous punishment for these knuckleheads.
Right. That's
you know,
love.
yeah,
That's love.
kind, yes, indeed.
All right. Verse 16. You shall not tempt Yahweh your power, as ye tempted him in Messiah. I don't remember that word.
Oh, let's
In
take a look at it.
Messiah.
Let's take a look at it. Messiah. I want to say that was one of those. Let's see. Messiah. Yeah, kind. Temptation. Place in the wilderness where the Israelites tested Yahuwah. Also,
Okay, Meribah. That's where the water,
Meribah.
where they
Okay.
the waters were the wells of Meribah.
Okay. Kind. Was that the bitter water that he
Yeah,
made sweet? Okay.
indeed. I,
Kind. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that too. Yeah. All praises. Okay. Well, let's continue here.
all right. Verse 17.
Hmm.
Ye shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahweh your power, and his testimonies, and his statutes, which he hath commanded you. And you shall do that which is right and good in the sight of Yahweh, that it may be well with you, and that you mayest go in and possess the good land which Yahweh swore unto your fathers, to cast out all your enemies from before you, as Yahweh hath spoken. And when your son ask you in time to come, saying, what mean the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Yahweh our power hath commanded you? Then you shall say unto your son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Mizraim, and Yahweh brought us out of Mizraim with a mighty hand. And
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh showed signs and wonders, great and
Mm-hmm.
sore, upon Mizraim, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought us out from thence, that he might bring us in to give us the land which he swore unto our fathers. And Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahweh our power, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness if we
Mm-hmm.
observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our power, as he hath commanded us. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. All praises. Man, verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and Yahuwah commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahuwah our power, for our good always, that we may preserve us, that he may preserve us alive as it is this day. So, man, it's such negative things that's said about the commandments, uh, especially amongst the church. They feel like it's bondage, or you're not. It's nothing that you should be doing. No, he gave us these commandments for our good. How do you say it again? Let me read that one more time. It says, commanded us to do these statutes, to fear Yahuwah our power, for our good always.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the commandments are meant for. And when he takes that veil off of your face and you really understand this, there's nothing that's going to keep you from walking out these commandments. There's nothing worth you walking off these commandments of the Most High, because they're for our good. You keeping the commandments makes us better, makes us good, and not keeping the commandments is what the opposite. What's the opposite of good? Bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead to chapter 7 here. Yeah, that was such a. I love whenever I see that,
Mm-hmm.
because I just I never understood. It never resonated with me that the law was done, that you don't have to keep the law. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I didn't even have any knowledge when I was first hearing this. I was like, oh, you don't have to do that. Like, that don't even make sense.
Yeah. I unfortunately I wasn't in the same boat. Uh, I shared with you, based on my own reading,
Hmm.
I'd come to the realization that we were the people, around the year 2000.
Hmm.
I'd read it when I was a teenager.
Hmm.
So in the late 90s, I'd finished it from cover to cover, and I thought that we were the people then, but I had people in my ear saying that now these things have already happened, and
Hmm.
we're not the people, we come from Ham. So
Uh,
it wasn't until about 4 or 5 years later,
hmm.
when I had read, done some reading in history, and how there were indeed Hebrews in West Africa.
Hmm.
So I was under the realization that we were the people then, but I'm thinking that, okay, now it's okay for me to eat pepperoni pizza
Hmm.
because the Most High has said that that's okay. Now that wasn't based
Hmm.
on my own understanding; that was based on what I had been told in church.
Hmm.
To
Hmm.
be honest with you, it wasn't until uh, nearly 18 years later, and that's
Hmm.
sad, but 18 years later, uh, listening to some brothers who uh, kind of helped guide me
Hmm.
into righteousness, and beginning to read for myself, and beginning to the Most High beginning to enlighten me on why things are the way that they are, why I find myself here in captivity, in fear for my life oftentimes.
Hmm.
You know,
Come,
uh,
come.
it's because it's His word. It's written.
Absolutely.
If I don't
Absolutely.
diligently hearken into these words, this and this and this is going to
Right.
happen to me.
Absolutely. Kind, absolutely, 100%. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying that I've been righteous my whole life and been walking in these commandments my whole life. I was not. It just didn't resonate with me because I operated from a place of ignorance. I did not. I was not a studious person.
Mhm.
I started studying this word because this is the word of the Most High, and I see myself here in it. I see myself in the word. When I
Indeed.
was a so-called Christian, I barely read the couple of scripts that the pastor went over. You know, so uh, I certainly didn't do any real studying, but it just never made sense. It never resonated with me that we didn't have to do the law. I was ignorant of what the law consisted of. I didn't know anything about any dietary law. I didn't know anything about. I didn't know that was in the script.
Mhm.
I think if I would have known that, I probably would have. I probably would have done something differently. I probably would have been like, I don't like that. I don't want to. I don't want to fool with that bacon. But I remember getting, bacon on my burger and things of that nature when I was didn't know any better. But nowadays, you with understanding, there's no need. That's not. I just thought about something. I remember one time going to Subway and I got the chicken breast, the egg white, and I told them to put the bacon on it because that
Mhm.
was protein. You mean protein, protein.
God.
And now it just came to me. I remember getting that, and it was just abomination. Chicken was fine, egg white was fine, but as soon as I put that swine on there, yeah, yeah. So all praises to her Abba, because at that time, Abba just winked at me like, I see you. I see you with your no knowledge self, but
Right. Right.
your time is coming.
Mhm.
So all praises. But let's go to chapter 7 here. Looks like the headline reads warning. So this
Con.
is going to be some interesting information here. So uh, go ahead if you don't mind.
All right, con. This is the book of Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 7. When Yahweh your power shall bring you into the land where thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before you, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than you. And when Yahweh your power shall deliver them before you, you shall smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
Slick out. 1 second. I'm okay. I know I'm thinking on this too hard, but I'm looking at this Amorites right here. This in the children of Lot.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
Lot's
these are
Lot's
the
children were Ammon,
Amon,
Ammonites.
the Ammonites. Okay, I
Hmm.
got you. I got you. I got you. Okay, con. No, no, no. I didn't think that was. I knew that they was similar, but not the same name. It's just looking at it right there. It made me go, "Well, these are the same ones." But okay, got you. I got you.
All
All
right.
right.
Verse 3. Neither shall you make marriages with them. Your daughter you shall not give unto his son, nor his daughter shall you take unto your son. So those are specific commandments.
Con, yes indeed.
For they will turn away your son from following me, that they may serve other deities. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars and break down their images and cut down their groves and burn their graven images with fire. Mhm.
All praises to Haba.
Indeed. For you are a holy people unto Yahweh your power. Yahweh your power hath chosen you to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So uh a set apart people
Mm-hmm.
for a specific task.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it's it's why we have these dietary laws.
Mm-hmm.
Uh
Absolutely.
it's why we have these laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean?
Con.
So this is what sets us apart from other
Yes
people,
indeed.
you know?
Yes indeed. Puts us in that special place, and this right here, verse 6. This is such a hard pill for our people because we have literally been beaten down so. I mean, we have been beaten down so much that it's hard for our people to read this and to associate this with us. Like I'm gonna get me wrong, we should be humble. Humility is a vital part of being a set apart people. However, the Most High according to his word, sees us as a set apart people unto himself above all people upon the face of the earth.
Hmm.
And according to Malachi, he changes not. He don't change.
That's
So
right.
he didn't say back then that we are a set apart people above all people on the earth, and to now tomorrow we all equal. No, he didn't
Right.
say that. He said that this is what you are according to my word forever.
Right.
That's what he's saying here. So
And nothing that we read in the so-called New Testament
kind
uh is
negates that.
contrary to that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't go against that.
Absolutely.
Even
Absolutely.
Shaul's writings says that you are the head. You know.
Yes, indeed. Even Keeper was quoting this. Was that Keeper James? When he said you are a chosen. It was Keeper. I think it
Yeah.
was second.
Yes. Yep.
Is it second
Keep.
Keeper?
Yep.
You
Indeed.
are a chosen
Second. I
generation.
think it's chapter 2. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Kind. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, but we gotta and understand this is not being cocky or arrogant and understanding this. This is a responsibility that the Most High have given us to walk to walk this out. This
Hmm.
isn't, oh, you're better than everybody else, you have to do anything. No, because I put you in this position, now you have this immense responsibility to be my representative in the earth. As I have sent you my representative, now you're representing my representative in the earth. To
Indeed, indeed. And if he wanted to, he could have separated a people from Yafet or a
mhm,
people from Ham, but
mhm,
it was Sham who he chose.
absolutely,
Those
from the
descendants
beginning,
from Abraham, and it's a responsibility, and there's
mhm,
consequences for not
absolutely,
being obedient. You know,
absolutely,
uh,
100%.
other nations shouldn't want to be in that position
Mhm.
because would you want to have to go through what we
What
went
we've been
through?
through,
You
exactly.
know,
Losing
and
your
and, and in
name,
so
losing
many
your everything.
yeah, and in so many ways that's coming. That's coming for these other nations.
Yeah,
But it's coming to all people who walk contrary to the Most High. You
yes,
know,
indeed, yes, indeed. We just had to endure ours, first,
indeed.
and as the time goes on, and we read here in Devarim, it was some other people before. That didn't that text say yesterday those people were extinct?
The Anakim.
Yeah, kind.
Yeah, indeed. Yep.
Yeah, it said they were extinct. These people were completely wiped out. I believe at the hands of the children of Esau.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we read. Oh, I hear thunder now.
Oh wow.
You hear
No, I didn't. I didn't. Oh yeah, I do. I just
it?
did now. Yep.
It took a little bit to get to you.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. It's
Kind.
rolling.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We may be out. We'll see. It look like it looked cloudy and dreary right now. It went from beautiful sunshine to when we first started. Look, we only been on here what, hour 28. It went from that to now. It looks yeah, it looks like a rainy day now.
Yeah, con.
So we'll see. All right, what we at, verse 7 or verse 8?
Con. Verse 8.
Okay,
Oh
go
no,
ahead.
no, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Verse 7.
verse 7. Okay, con.
Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people,
Mm-hmm.
but because Yahweh loved you, and
Mm-hmm.
because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Mizraim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Oslakia,
Go
know
ahead.
therefore
Oh,
that Yahweh your power, he is the most high, the faithful power, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations,
yes, indeed.
and repayeth them that hate him to their face, to destroy them. He will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him to his face.
To his face.
Man, you shall therefore keep the commandments and statutes and the judgments which I command you this day to do them. All
Mm-hmm.
praises.
Hallelujah. Yes, indeed. The promises of the Most High.
Mhm.
This is some good stuff right here. All right?
Indeed.
Yes,
This is the book.
indeed.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7. Wherefore, verse 12. Wherefore it shall come to pass, if ye hearken to these judgments and keep and do them, that Yahweh your power shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he sware unto your fathers,
Mm-hmm.
and he will love you and bless you and
Mm,
multiply you. He will also bless the fruit of your womb
mm,
and the fruit of the land, your corn and your wine and your oil
mm,
and the increase of your kind
mm,
and the flocks of your sheep in the land which he swore unto your fathers to give you.
mm,
Thou shalt be blessed above all people.
mm,
There shall not be male or female barren among you
mm,
or among your cattle. And Yahweh will take away from all yours all this from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Mizraim, which thou knowest, upon you, but will lay them upon all them that hate you.
mm.
Man, so I don't understand like why our people wouldn't want to do this, man.
My goodness, they ignorant to this. They have not read this chapter 7 of Devarim. They are ignorant to this. Like if you read this with an open heart, open mind, you understand who this people are that he's speaking to here. Like I see myself standing right there where Moshe is, and I'm listening, and I'm like, whoo! Every
Man,
time every word he speak, I'm just like, man. But when you don't see yourself in the book, you. And what's amazing is that these other people see themselves there. They'll put themselves right there. Yeah, that's us right there. We the multinational church, and that's who we're this is us. Like, no, you weren't there. You weren't at Mount Sinai, or you weren't at on this side of Jordan.
right.
Moshe is speaking to the children of Israel here. Yeah, there is a mixed multitude still with us at this time. They have not separated as of yet. But as we read in Nehemiah, when they found out that the Amorites and the Moabites wasn't going to be dealing with us hand to hand and face to face, uh, they like, well, we up out of here. Y'all ain't gonna
Mm-hmm.
deal with our brothers. You're not dealing with us. So come, man,
Come.
this is beautiful. Uh, so amazing. So just
Indeed.
lifts, as good as the music is when we listen to the music, how it lifts my ruach. Reading this is like it's right there with that music. They may even be above the music.
Indeed, Doc.
You know what I'm
Indeed.
saying? So all praises.
Well, all right, verse 16. And you shall consume all the people which Yahweh your power shall deliver you. Your eye shall have no pity upon them, neither shall you serve their deities, for that will be a snare unto you.
I'm sure.
Wow.
I'm sure. Like, why would you even want to do that when he's giving you this?
Right.
Like, what appeal would that even be, man? Mm.
All right. If you shall say in your heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispose of them? Thou shalt not be afraid of them, but shalt well remember what Yahweh your power did unto Pharaoh and unto all Mizraim. That's right, man.
Yes, indeed,
Nothing to
man.
be afraid of.
Nothing.
This is what Joshua, son of Nun, knew. This is what Caleb knew, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, think about Daoud. When Goliath came out there and he was just mocking,
Yeah.
and Daoud had that rule like, man, who is this dude? He
Who
don't
is
know
this
who we are,
uncircumcised heathen?
right? Yeah, he don't know who we are. We the people of the covenant. Hold up. What my? Give me a. You know what? Give me my. You know what I'm saying? Daoud was
Yeah.
like, look here. I ain't worried about this dude. And what did he do? He went out there and took his head. He took the head off the biggest, baddest looking dude you can imagine
Right.
in your mind. He
Right.
took his head. Little Daoud. You know what I'm saying? So
And led the charge. And led the
Khan,
charge against the Philistines, man.
yeah, Khan, absolutely. 100%. And they had absolutely, because Daoud had this in his ruach. He had
Mhm.
this in his heart and his mind. And so when it came time for action,
He's ready.
Man, I ain't worried about these. Who is this dude supposed to be? Who is this uncircumcised heathen?
Right.
This uncircumcised Philistine? He ain't the people of this covenant. Yahuwah ain't with him.
And what makes him think he can defy the armies of the Most High?
Exactly. Not the armies of Israel, the armies of the Most High Power.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are His representative. We are His people. We the ones that he rocking with. And remind you, I just mentioned earlier that under Daoud, we were the top. This was the top nation in all the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So all praises, man. Let's just continue here. We
Hallelujah.
almost done.
Verse
Good stuff.
19.
Beautiful stuff.
Man, the great temptations which your eyes saw, and the signs, and the wonders, and the mighty hand, and the stretched out arm, whereby Yahweh your power brought you out, so shall Yahweh your power do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. Moreover, Yahweh your power will send the hornet among them until they are left and hide themselves from you, be destroyed. You shall not be affrighted of them at them, for Yahweh your power is among you, a mighty power and
And
terrible.
terrible.
And Yahweh your power will put out those nations before you by little and little. You mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon you. But Yahweh your power shall deliver them unto you, and shall destroy them with a mighty destruction until they be destroyed. And he shall deliver their kings into your hand, and you shall destroy their name from under heaven. There shall no man be able to stand before you until you have destroyed them. The graven images of their deities shall ye burn with fire. You shall not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto you, lest you be snared therein, for it is an abomination to Yahweh your power. You know, that was a commandment as well, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
Achan didn't
Mm-hmm.
remember.
Right, right. Well, this is I pictured Devarim, not Devarim, Yirmiah chapter 10, when it talks about that deck with silver and gold.
Uh-huh.
He's saying don't desire that silver and gold that is on their idols. This
Mm-hmm.
is talking about their idols here.
Okay.
Uh, so burn them up, burn them with the stuff on them. Don't say, "Ooh, let me get these shekels of gold here. Look at all this gold." No, no. Let them. They didn't sacrifice. They didn't gave this to this idol. We don't take that and try to make it into something, something else.
Mm-hmm.
That got to burn with that. Whatever that idol is, that all got to burn together.
Gone.
Yeah.
Verse 26. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house.
Mm,
Achan did that.
yes, indeed.
Lest thou be a cursed thing like it, but thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing.
All praises to
All praises,
Abba.
man. Yeah, indeed.
Man, this is such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful uh, lesson writing. Few chapters here, and man, I'm just so elated. This is just man, I can't even put it into words how wonderful it is to read and understand what we're reading. You know what I'm saying? To
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to read words on the page. It's a whole other thing to feel it in your ruach when you
Mm-hmm.
read it. And this chapter 7, I've read some of chapter 7, but I've never read it from top to bottom that I can recall. I may have and just don't remember. But man, when I tell you my ruach, I mean it's all in my ruach. I mean that is some wonderful writing. To put words on a piece of paper and to read it and literally live. I talked about it comparing to the music earlier. How music's supposed to deal with your spirit. These words are just as are more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm sure it's not as powerful. I'm sure if I was an Amorite or any of those nations, any of those Canaanites, and read this, I'm sure I'd be quaking in my boots. But when I read it as an Israelite, understanding who I am, uh, and that's beautiful. So, uh, as well, that's chapter 7, giving them the warnings and the promises. We go back to chapter 6, obeying the Most High, uh, and prosper. Obey the Most High and prosper. So He gave us that instruction. Like, if you do this, I'll reward you with this. I'll give you
Mm-hmm.
this. Uh, chapter 5, we went over the Ten Commandments, reiterated that, and we began with chapter 4, uh, where we're urged to obey the Most High. And there was an intercession. I was under the impression that an intercession that Moshe would have done in chapter 5 would have been a little bit more, would have been because of something that they did.
That's what I was thinking as well, but we didn't
Yeah.
read that, you know.
No, we didn't. We kind of just getting some understanding of the conversation there.
It was
Uh,
almost a prayer for them
yeah.
to, like, if they like you had said that, Moshe was pretty much prophesizing that they were gonna
Mm,
go off,
well, yeah,
but
yeah.
if they would remember and
Hmm.
diligently seek the Most High with their heart, all their heart, that he remembered the covenants that he made with their
Kind,
fathers.
kind, yes, indeed. And just beautiful. That's beautiful. It's such good information. It's such good writing, such good uh, understanding, and I can't put on. I can't put myself in another place. I could talk about me before I had the understanding,
Hmm.
but I can't put myself in another's place. I think that the reason I wasn't so in tune with this before the truth, was I didn't see myself here. I thought it was just go along to get along and pray and ask for forgiveness and you good. And that was the extent of that was the extent of my understanding. But when I understood that these were my ancestors written in this book, that these were the history of my people written in this book, it makes a whole lot more sense, and it gives a whole lot more responsibility. So,
Con,
um,
indeed.
it's definitely a Barakai. But go ahead with final thoughts if you don't mind.
Based on everything that we've read up to
Mhm,
this point,
mhm.
all of it is definitely motivation for me
Kind.
to try my hardest with all
Hmm.
my heart to
Yes,
line up
indeed.
with these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the faith of Mashiach, knowing that also, uh you know it's like, if some people say, well, what do we have to lose? We got a lot to
Exactly.
lose. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a lot to lose, and it's a lot to gain. Like, why
Hmm.
not put your best foot forward
Yeah.
and seek him?
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. I mean, you think about it, you talked about from the beginning of where we began with Bereshit 1 and 1, and just going through and reading, chapter after chapter, book after book, starting with verse by verse, chapter by chapter, book by book, and it's all built from where it began to this point here. Now we're getting ready to go into the land. As we're reading, we're getting ready to go into the land, and He's going to deliver our adversaries to us. His primary concern here is like, look, this is nothing. The problem is what happened in a couple of generations when y'all start going off.
Mm-hmm.
When you are gonna remember, because you're not gonna have a problem remembering. I think about myself and how the Most High is such a first thought in my mind. But my children, their children, what is going to be the situation there, if we even get to that part. Mashiach may come back before that, but it's just, I mean, that's what I was mentioning earlier with the kings. It starts with Dawood. Dawood just on fire for the Most High.
Con.
Solomon kind of had his little. Solomon was a little bit more shaky. Went to what, Rehoboam, or was it Jeroboam or Rehoboam?
Yeah, Rehoboam. Well,
Rehoboam Solomon.
Jeroboam, I want to say Jeroboam was northern.
Northern Kingdom, Khan
Yeah.
Khan. Yeah, he was from Ephraim. Uh, but Jeroboam it's hard. I get them confused because they was like at the same time. Matter of fact, I think uh, is it Rehoboam who was the servant of Solomon,
Uh,
or the
I think I think Rehoboam was his son.
okay Rehoboam? Okay, con. So
Yeah,
Rehoboam was the
and
son.
I want to say it was maybe his servant. Jeroboam was the servant, I
Okay,
believe.
that's okay. That's what I'm trying to get to. It's hard to they names is the exact almost the same. It's like a letter different.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for me to mess that up. But anyway, uh,
It's
when it
raining out.
yeah, kind came out of nowhere almost.
Yeah,
I mean, unusual, but all praises. And maybe it won't last too long. I mean, it's
yeah,
5:32, so
con.
we got time to maybe kick back and grab a little nap or something, and even you know, for who knows, we might still be able to get out there, but we'll see. But as it just basically as it continued to go down, I think the last was Hezekiah the last, Hazakiah, was he the last righteous king?
Let's see. No, his he had
He had a
a
son.
son, son or a grandson, Josiah, that
Josiah, yep, Josiah, yep,
ended
yep.
up having. They hadn't seen a feast like how he
Right,
had put on
con.
since the days of old. You
Okay,
know.
okay, yeah. I can't wait to get into this history. I mean, this is, don't get me wrong, this toy is magnificent. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful feast. But I really want to get into this history, and not just get into it myself. I want to get us, everybody who's willing to listen and watch this thing.
Hmm.
I want to get everybody into it. Not just that, I want to get into the New Testament as well. I want us to really get some good understanding as we go through these books, through these chapters, through these verses, and as just edified and just edified through the script. With that, I am your Akazaki Yahoo, joined again by my most esteemed Ak Akenaniah, and I give all praise, honor, and great esteem unto the Most High Power, Yahuwah, Bahashem, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, and to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four quarters of the earth. I say Shalom Wabarukim, that is peace and blessings. And I cannot wait till the day that the Most High brings us back together and we are once again 12 tribes, one family, one nation, under the Most High power, under one covenant. Until that day, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat shalom, family.
Hallelujah.